hobby. What you see me here doing, what you don't see Lemire doing, is what feeds a family. Now, as people, my people now, not everybody, I'm talking to black people, right? Y'all don't like to pay. Y'all like to ride for free. Oh, that's over. If you support what we're doing, understand we're not getting government sponsorship. I don't work for government anyway. I work for you. Don't tell me you love me. Show me.
We'll be right back after these messages. Stay tuned.
For more than 30 years, Bermuda Healthcare Services and the Brown Darrow Clinic have provided state-of-the-art diagnostic choices to the people of Bermuda. We were the first facility outside the hospital to establish a full array of imaging services. Under the skillful supervision of Dr. Mahesh Reddy, we offer CAT scanning, ultrasound, echocardiography, X-ray, and MRI scanning. Our team of highly skilled technologists hold outstanding credentials, and our staff will ensure that your visit is comfortable and confidential. If you would like to experience our private care, feel free to let your doctor know. Our CT and MRI results are available from the Leahy Clinic in 24 hours or less. For more information, check our website at bhcs.bm or call us at 236-2810. Building trust, one patient at a time.
Training may end at 6 o'clock. It's getting fairly dark early now. But coaches know, and the administrators know as well, that even though a parent may be a bit late picking up their child, they know that that child and that adult should never be in the same spot at the same time. There's always what we call the tripod effect, where there's a young person and two adults. So we practice that up until today. So it's great to know that the team administrators, which are the youth parents and the coaches, are still understanding the importance of protecting the children.
This program is brought to you in part by Project Action and Sensei Roots Phillips and Zenji-Ru Bermuda Karate Do, raising the level of discipline through martial arts for countless students in Bermuda and internationally over the years. This program is also brought to you by DeGrapp's Lunch Wagon in City Hall parking lot and Birdie's Cafe on Parsons Road in Pembroke, serving Bermuda since 1939. Real news, real issues, real people. It's Ceola Wilson, one-on-one.
So, tonight we have an in-studio guest who graciously stepped in after a certain party canceled, not once, but twice, and had the nerve to not tell me till this morning. That's okay. You won't be hearing from me for a while. You're done. Catch up later. Joining us in studio today, those of you in drug counseling circles, in recovery circles, anybody who's been through addiction services years ago would know him as Llewelyn Gomes. He's one of the first counselors way back in the day at addiction services with Russ Ford. Don't know where he's been. I hear he's living in England now. Welcome aboard.
Thank you so much, Ceola, for the kind introduction. I worked at Addiction Service in 1982. But first of all, I want to give a shout out to those who labor today in addiction in Bermuda, all those who work hard to save lives and to help in the field of addiction. Thank you for all your hard work, and I'd be glad to work with you any way I can to help.
Sure. No, you and I didn't do a briefing. You know what we're here to talk about. You've been living in England, but you keep a pulse on Bermuda. Back in your time, it was cocaine and heroin. Today, we got Molly, we got Axe, we got this. What's your take on the local scene? Because people still have this thing about drugs.
Well, my opinion is that drugs are still prevalent in Bermuda, as we all know. I go back to 1982, and during that time, government was doing some research as to addiction population and the needs for treatment. And back then, they did a survey with addiction population in Bermuda. And when the survey was finished, They said it wasn't enough drug addicts in Bermuda to warrant the program.
Then what happened?
So unfortunately, they didn't capture the need at that time. Was a delay. Since then, other programs have sprung up, is doing a great job. But since '82, the unfortunate thing, they closed down Reach Out, which was a working program, and addiction services, but we were working combined together with Reach Out. We've done a extremely good job working at the methadone clinic. I feel that in the 80s, when they built Casemates, but Westgate now, they closed down Casemates and built Westgate. There was a huge investment into corrections favor. But I felt that the need would have been better spent building a proper rehab in Bermuda back in 1982. So now we're stuck with the third and fourth generation of the same people in my age group that are basically having addiction problems and suffering from trauma through loss of their family members, dying through addiction and drugs. Back then, I mean, a lot of families lost 3 or 4 in one family. So
that was more like heroin, right?
Heroin addiction.
Yes.
And
AIDS as a result
so
of
we lost a lot of people. And these third generation of the same people today are hardcore compared to how we used to be. And when I was in the street selling drugs, if we saw the police, we try to conceal or whatever, try to run, whatever we can do to get away. But today's world, people confront the police. They'll fight the police. In some parts of the world, they shoot guns back at the police. So this generation is furious generation today.
So let me just ask you this, because we touched briefly, right? For a big, long time, we had drug counselors, no drug experience, strictly textbook. I asked you briefly, were you a recovering addict? You said yes. You're also a prolific counselor. Just how important do you think it is to be a natural recovering addict? Because only he who feels it knows. And I say that to say, and I don't mean to dish you or addiction services, but the drug needs know the deal. For a long time, when you ran addiction services in the beginning, early stage with your textbook people, they said you had to do a urine sample. Well, drug addicts, you let them go in the bathroom by themselves. You're watching what they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
Then you got a little hip and you follow them in the bathroom, but you're so dumb because the heroin fiend got a little boys to piss in a condom.
Yeah.
And they just do a switch. They females at the urine in a condom and certain they sit down, prick a heel, and you people are sitting there thinking, dumb.
Yeah.
A drug addict would know that.
They know
not this in the textbook counselor, but you say what?
Well, I feel that from having an addiction experience myself, I do understand the culture and the tricks in the trade that they know, we all know. And it's nothing better than having somebody who has lived it and experienced it, the lived experience of addiction, like myself and many other recovering drug addicts that work in addiction. I have a very strong sense of feeling and understanding of the addiction problems. And we could somewhat read and understand what people are not saying, what they should be saying. The other thing is that most other addicts have been suffering from depression, anxiety, trauma, and they don't accept this as part of the problem. And one of the things, and also I want to mention that dual disorders, a lot of addicts suffer from mental health issues along with, I'm not saying I could diagnose someone with mental health, but there is a strong sense that there are a lot of addiction and mental health combined together. And once you treat the addiction and you don't treat the mental health, then its chance of success is very slim. So you got to
let's
both.
jump for a minute, because the culture's changed, but the story remains the same. Back then, we would drink what we drank and maybe a few shots. Today's world, we shot, they shot, people shoot Henny, Shivers back to back.
Yeah.
6 shots of Henny are ready to be a raging bull. Yeah. What are you seeing in Bermuda's drug culture, and how much is it related to other tragedies, like 70% plus of all fatalities involve drugs or alcohol.
Yes.
You know, Bermudians drinking is embedded in our culture. You know, Bermudians love to drink. Any occasion is a drink. You know, I've heard guys say one for the road, my car's on automatic pilot. You know, like these are mind altering substances. How heavily prevalent is it in fatalities? Because we have them every other week. And these obnoxious crimes. You say...
Yeah, I can see that the correlation between alcohol and drugs and violence, also with fatalities. When I was in Baltimore, I was teaching a class that requires people who convicted for drinking and driving to get the license back there to go to drug education
they
classes.
Do that here.
So they do the same thing.
You get some
here.
time off if you take the course.
Right. So we educate them to get them back. But again, there's no guarantees that person's going to, stop drinking because it's a disease. Alcohol is a disease just like drugs.
But on the flip side, they test you and you got to do that. That's alcohol. But like if I'm skiing off a Molly and I kill somebody, like it comes up in the trial. But it's like, it doesn't matter.
They may not test you for that.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but there's so many different types of drugs around, like, and they use this stuff called spice. They smoke it. It's, it looks like marijuana.
So it's synthetic?
Yeah, synthetic.
And
drug.
what are you seeing?
At one point, it was to use spice, it was legal. You could go in the shops in America and buy it, even in the UK.
But no.
Now it's illegal, but it's a very dangerous drug. And I think my opinion, I think it has some opiate properties in it because people who are addicted to spice, they end up nodding out, going through withdrawal symptoms like hot and cold, shivers, and they can't sleep. So, and then once it wears off, every 3 to 4 hours, they got to keep smoking it all day, all night. But it's a cheaper way of addiction. So a lot of people are drawn to that because it has a marijuana look. So it looks like it's, it's smoking marijuana, but it's very dangerous. And
the younger you do it, the bigger impact, you think?
Yeah, I think the younger age, and also I know for myself, I started doing drugs when I was, I guess, 12, 13. And
what were your drugs of choice?
I started off with marijuana, and before now I was smoking like, if you take the cedar bars and make,
cedar bar,
make,
uncles tell me that,
make tobacco joints and like that, or tobacco. And then I went on to cigarettes and marijuana, and then...
Would you think, or say that marijuana is a gateway drug? Do you believe
most
that?
Definitely, yeah, because
More so than alcohol?
I would say pretty much equally same. Because alcohol, because it's socially acceptable and it's not illegal, then it's the same
So
impact.
now they're talking about decriminalizing marijuana. So was it a hoax?
I don't agree. I mean, decriminalizing as far as the person being convicted for small amounts of marijuana and being banned from traveling to America and different things, I don't agree to that.
Sure.
That's cruel.
Should we legalize marijuana?
Legalizing it, I would say no, in my opinion, because marijuana psychosis is a pretty bad thing for people who have mental health issues.
People go on and on. Oh, well, if we legalize it, it's going to encourage. Portugal made a sweeping change.
Yeah.
You don't see them.
Right.
Amsterdam made some changes. In Bermuda, was still saying, oh, it's going to encourage. I never met nobody got up and said, I'm going to be a drug addict today.
No.
So where are we getting this? If you legalize marijuana tomorrow, the people who smoke weed on the regular, it's going to be okay. It's not going to make people run out and say, well, let me try it, because most people who want to try it now. Then this legislation says things like, well, this law makes it a gangster law to smoke marijuana in public. In reality, Bermudians smoke weed in public places every day. So what are we talking about, really?
You can't stop it. It's going to go on.
It's going on.
I go back to when marijuana was coming in through Jamaica, way back in Bermuda. Way back then, they shut down the direct flight from Jamaica because it was the ganja flight.
Yeah.
So they shut it down.
Came cocaine.
Then more drugs increased between the cocaine, the heroin, LSD.
So that's dumb, no vision, correct?
It increased more.
So here we are now.
Yeah.
Got me and mad stuff.
Yeah.
You know, they tell me people take a hill of Molly and makes you, it exemplify. So if I'm getting ready to go get my piece and come kill you, I take Molly, I'm really going to kill you. Now, do we even check that?
Yeah, it makes people more fearless. You know, and, you know, gang violence and things like this here.
It's all related.
It's all part of the drug trade.
Even on the flip side, you know, how you going to tell a brother go work for X dollars, $500 a week when they can make $1,500 overnight?
Yeah, it's hard to transition from, if you're a drug dealer or drug seller, to a regular job, because what you can make in a couple of hours on the street, you can't even make that in a week's work.
So when we approach it, are we even being real?
Well, we really need some other alternatives, and Bermuda's stuck right now because its lack of employment is one problem, and the other problem is, you know, people who have been convicted for crimes with criminal records, they're labeled and difficult to get jobs. People have labeled them because of other mental health or addiction problems, and these people cannot function in society, and sometimes they have health problems and along with the addiction. So my whole feeling for me coming to share is because not for myself, but for my brothers and sisters that have addiction problems, is that I would like to open up another venue in conjunction with what's happening in Bermuda.
Yeah, you work in England with us program. Tell me a bit about that. We'll be hearing from one of the
we have several Bermudas in our program now.
What's it called?
It's called Backing.
And what is it about?
It's about alcohol and drug treatment for, it was founded for, back in the day, the Asian people and the blacks had nowhere to go because they were a minority in treatment centers.
This is the UK.
Yeah, in UK back
so
23 years ago, they started Backing because the Asian community and the black community felt out of place.
So what is it, an in-house rehab? You go, you stay?
Basic outpatient, but we have other referral service that we use in conjunction with what we do to have inpatient, long-term and short-term
So
treatment.
the patients that you have from Bermuda, what, came out of jail, came out of rehab?
They came voluntarily from Bermuda.
So who pays for it?
What happens is, once a person is there over, say, 4 to 6 months, the UK government kicks in and pays the treatment.
Even for the Bermudians?
Yeah, even for the Bermudians, because as long as they got a British passport, national insurance
So what's
number.
different about that treatment than what's available here?
It's pretty much the same, but the only difference is that a person will be able to go to the recovery in another country as opposed to Bermuda once they're released from a local program.
But some people have been shipped out and been good doing well. As soon as they get back in the Bermuda scene, they're back
to the same thing.
So what's that
I mean,
about?
there's no guarantees no matter where you go. You got to be committed for your recovery.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's all within your commitment and your decision to stay clean and your choices around people, friends, and places that you go in your recovery.
So what's the big driving force with drugs in Bermuda right now? Is it the money? Is it the in thing? What is it? Because a lot of people smoke herb every day.
Yeah.
And it's just a thing. You know, some sacraments, it's a sacrament and something, one or the other. But, you know, back in the day, you had this herb, that herb, it was straight herb. Now you got loud, now you got cheddar, now you got all this craziness.
But I have not, when I smoked marijuana, I paid $5 for it.
Well, those days are gone.
It's been a long time.
Been going.
So what I paid $5 for was maybe like $50 right now.
At least.
And also the quality of marijuana you get is more potent than you get back then. So
right, so what?
You smoke less now today, you probably would smoke like a little piece of it and will last you for several hours or maybe, and then you know, so it's more potent, more stronger.
Stay tuned.
This program is brought to you by title sponsors Bermuda Healthcare Services and SCARS, saving children and revealing secrets. Real news, real issues, real people. It's Ceola Wilson, one-on-one.
Okay, we'll get more, hopefully, sometime in the future from the consuls you work with in the UK. Our connection's not working out. But you're back in Bermuda for the first time since when, and what you here for?
I came here for the first time in 3 years for vacation. But prior to me coming here, I had a chance to share with some Bermudans what we do through the Rotary. And I had several calls, a lot of feedback from that interview. So I figured when I came over here, I just try to engage with a few more people. And since which we had requests from even probation services.
To do what?
To see if we can help people in addiction who is even on probation to transfer them back to the UK.
Because why? It's not enough help
Just
here?
Alternative treatment. Also, because maybe some of the programs could be overloaded, may have space, or maybe they could have burnt
Do you know how many is up at that place in Dockyard?
No.
Because it don't look overloaded to me.
Yeah. It may be a combination of reasons why. Just being in a different country may be a need. And also with the UK, some of them have health problems, and these health problems could be taken care of at no cost to the patient, to the person. Once they go to the UK, their health care is taken care of and things like that. So and they're also opportunity for employment once they're finished. So there's a lot of opportunity for living there permanently if they want to, or they want to come back home and make a contribution to this society here. You know?
Well, a lot of times when they want to come back, people still hear your past, and you know how it goes.
Yeah, it's very difficult once you build a reputation for yourself in this community. Yeah, for employment.
It's not impossible.
Stigmatized.
I laugh about it now,
yeah.
but
I mean,
anyway.
I would say I had a reputation when I was younger, Bermuda, but I never went to prison, but I done a lot of things, that was pretty negative.
Sure.
In my lifestyle, but I was able to get.
So in your time you've been there, you had a look around, you heard what's going on. It's like murders every other minute. I keep hearing my government say it's a community problem when it's only black boys killing black boys. So I don't know which community the government's talking about. And I don't say that disrespectfully or with a wish that they will start shooting other people, but no disrespect. I don't see no white women burying their sons. Not because of gun murder. I don't see no Portuguese women burying their sons. Okay? And a lot of these boys didn't even graduate. They're in a culture. You've seen the vibe. Some do drugs. There's some are selling drugs. They're protecting the turf that they don't even earn the property. So what's your take on where we've come? Because we watched this happen, This thing didn't just come out of nowhere. You say what?
From what I've seen, they have Leroy Bean is out there doing a lot of work in the community.
Yeah, but what is he doing?
More related to
yeah, we keep hearing, and that's another story.
Reduction, or
sure,
murder reduction, all that kind of stuff.
And no diss to Pastor Bean, but I saw him in a week interview with this boy Don Burgess on Bar News with Michael Weeks. I saw Michael Weeks, the newly appointed number 3 minister down St. David's, when they found that brother on the shoreline, and Michael Weeks looked shook.
Yeah.
Okay, is now minister number 33.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it's a community problem that needs to be addressed collectively, but it's a black community issue. And I don't hear it playing. Because realistically, right, this government, PLP, has been in charge or in administrative power for at least 20-something years, out of the past 20-something years, for 18. Okay, started way back in 98 with Dame Jennifer, who laughed and said, well, it's only 4%. What's it now? Now, here comes this new administration. The first administration didn't have a plan. In my personal opinion, from what I've seen professionally, this new administration don't have a plan. Talk. Well, you say what? And I don't mean to bring the political, but everything is political.
Well, I feel...
We have a national drug commission that gets paid. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. It's kind of saddening, but a lot of politics is I would say just politics, unfortunately. A lot of politics are genuine. I can't judge to say they're not giving 100% because they could be in the way giving 100%. But I just feel that it's politics is... In some ways, a lot of times they talk more politics when they're getting ready to be elected. Once they get elected, then
see you later.
Things change.
We had a million reports.
Make a lot of promises.
The reports sit on the shelf.
Yeah, and they had a lot of research in Bermuda over the years.
We keep saying education is key.
They pay all these experts to come in and give research and do lectures.
Well, they just had a big thing up nationals with some guy from America. Okay, fine. I want to hear from us.
Yeah,
this is our problem. It's going to take us to get it. But bourgeois don't want street.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
I don't have no diss against Pastor Leroy Bean. I knew he got contracted. His contract was extended. It was 6 digits. Over X years, you're cruising $500,000. You haven't put a dent in the murders. And it's not up to one man, right? But he's now served under 3 ministers. I haven't heard nobody ask, what's he doing? Who's he accountable to? What's the plan? No disrespect, as a pastor, you want to pray, so you're going to wait for Jesus. That's it?
I don't know. I know in Baltimore, and I was living there, crime was really heavy.
Yeah, we saw The Wire. They had that big show, The Wire.
Massive call, and they have, I don't know if they do the embassy here.
Well, what?
They turn in the guns, and they get paid so much money for turning in guns. But they can turn in guns without being penalized for it.
Okay.
And they get money in return.
Okay.
That's
not everybody's going to do that.
They're
turning, and every time they do, they get a few rifles, broken down crap. These guys ain't giving up their guns. I'm wondering.
It's just a cool generation of people that we're dealing with very little emotions for a brother or a sister that they would kill somebody with no feeling behind it. And that's where I think that it goes back down to the generational curses of addiction and others, goes right on back to slavery. I mean, where we become more cold-hearted people, through drugs.
So it is what it is, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah, it's kind of tough.
It's going to be what it's going to be. Because today we have guys going up Deepdale, whichever side, licking off shots in the street where babies play. I have people up Deepdale. They have babies up Deepdale. God forbid, and I hate to say it, but based on the trajectory, it's just a matter of time for somebody's baby gets killed.
That'd be so sad. I mean, to look at the victims today, even those kids who's left behind today, over the years of losing their parents, these kids are growing up without a father, through gang violence, through murder, you know what I mean? And it's a trauma for them. They need help. The generational curses are falling upon the little babies, you know what I mean? So,
and in the meantime, we're going to leave it up to charities? That's a long pause.
It's a tough journey, you know what I mean? In England, it's the same thing. Most of it in England, they use knives.
Yeah, because of the time for guns, they're doing that here now too.
Less sentencing.
But they're not stopping. We've got teenagers walking around with knives because they need protection. Like, what is going on? Nettle John is leaving my house with my knife to go kill somebody.
It's a serious crisis, I think, in Bermuda when it comes to gang violence and substance abuse and
all of that.
Yeah, it's very serious.
But the real funny part, the guy who goes high off of weed, the only thing is going red is the refrigerator. The guy goes lit off a Henny, and the only thing is going red and beat on everything in his path. You know how many families have been destroyed because of alcohol?
Yeah, back in the day, I was like, when I was younger, I didn't want to be an alcoholic because my personal experience in my home, I seen alcohol destroy my family. You know what I mean? So I said, well, I don't want to be an alcoholic. But I ended up choosing to be a drug addict, which was just a bit worse.
But that's the other thing. People hear addiction and they think drugs, drink, alcohol. But addiction could be sitting there feeding cake down your mouth because you're depressed.
Overeating could be many different forms of addiction.
It could be shopaholic.
Right.
Spendaholic.
Sex addiction.
Sexaholic.
Yeah, right.
Pedophilaholic.
Yep.
It's a lot of ignorance.
Yeah. But I'd be honest with you, Ceola, even though I've been out for drugs for a long time, I do meetings myself twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week.
No, I don't do all that.
Yeah, I go because, and I share in meetings because not because I want to, I would say the reason why I do it is because I want to help myself and help others. and
Of
share my
course.
experiences.
Of course.
And if I can help somebody else along the way. My journey is not about making money.
Right.
Like I was offered a full-time job where I work now.
Right.
I don't want it because I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it because I want to help somebody.
And it's important.
So if I can help somebody in Bermuda to come to the UK and help them to better their life.
So if they want to reach you, what do they do?
We have a website, Backen, and I also have a number.
This guy,
my number is 519-4033, 519-4033, and my UK number is 07496 777-118. Yeah,
we'll get that on the screen.
Yeah, you can reach me. So 490-777-118.
What part of England you in?
I'm in Nottingham.
Nottingham.
Yeah.
Okay, you like it?
It's nice.
How you handle the weather?
It took a while to get adjusted to it.
Sucks.
Took a whole, it's rough.
Well, thanks for coming in. Thanks for sitting in. We'll be back to players right after
Thanks so much, Ceola. Appreciate you.
This program is brought to you in part by Project Action and Sensei Roots Phillips and Zenji-Ru Bermuda Karate Do, raising the level of discipline through martial arts for countless students in Bermuda and internationally over the years. This program is also brought to you by DeGrapp's Lunch Wagon in City Hall parking lot and Birdie's Cafe on Parsons Road in Pembroke, serving Bermuda since 1939.
For more than 30 years, Bermuda Healthcare Services and the Brown Darrell Clinic have provided state-of-the-art diagnostic choices to the people of Bermuda. We were the first facility outside the hospital to establish a full array of imaging services. Under the skillful supervision of Dr. Mahesh Reddy, we offer CAT scanning, ultrasound, echocardiography, X-ray, and MRI scanning. Our team of highly skilled technologists hold outstanding credentials, and our staff will ensure that your visit is comfortable and confidential. If you would like to experience our private care, feel free to let your doctor know. Our CT and MRI results are available from the Leahy Clinic in 24 hours or less. For more information, check our website at bhcs.bm or call us at 236-2810. Building trust, one patient at a time.
Child sexual abuse has a voice. It's called pain. Learn what you can do to minimize the risk. Get SCARS certified. This message is brought to you by SCARS, saving children and revealing secrets. Please visit scarsbermuda.com for more information.
Real news, real issues, real people. It's Ceola Wilson, one-on-one.
Okay, that's it. We're not doing an hour this week. We'll be back probably within 2 weeks. So we got to get some things straight. Like I said, if you support our cause, we're staying a little bit out of controversy for a minute, just till I get my health back. Like I said, my guest canceled. This is his second time. I usually do 3 strikes. He's on 2.9, so he's done. In any case, let me get my ducks in a row. If you care to support our cause, hit me up on Facebook, hit me up via email. All my contacts are on BermudaReal.com. Thank you so much. Wish me well. Thanks for all the well wishes. I'm not out of the woods yet. I appreciate it. Most definitely appreciate the weight loss. Been waiting on that for a minute. Almost had to die to get it, but that's okay. We'll see you in a minute. Thanks for joining us.